I'm going to quickly document what I finished in November with respect to knitting and crocheting and what I've been working on. So the first thing that I finished is that I finished this pair of socks. I have a self-striping Halloween yarn from Hobie. The colorway is called Witch Party. And so I finished this pair of socks. Obviously I have two, and I initially knitted these for myself, but as soon as I tried them on, I saw that not only were they too long, they were also too wide. So my whole issue is that I always forget to add a negative ease whenever I'm calculating the circumference for socks. So that's kind of annoying. But I gave them to my partner to try on and they fit him perfectly. So I could have just pretended that I always intended them to be for him and then I sized them perfectly. But there it is. I enjoyed making these. And they took 22 hours in the month of November and 36 hours total overall. So yeah. So the other thing that I did is that I had one more skein of color changing cotton yarn. So I wanted to try color pooling a second time after I had so much fun doing planned color pooling the first time. So this is my very last skein of cotton, of mystery cotton. I have no idea what it is. It was just given to me by an acquaintance. And so I did this. But it's 100% cotton yarn, so it's going to be a good dish towel at the very least. So yeah, so this next thing I had in the work in progress column when I first took my notes on this, but since then I finished it. So I'm really excited about this. This is a cardigan. So this is following the Boxy Blooms pattern. It's the Boxy Blooms cardigan. I forget who it's by. No, I didn't write that down. But it's made out of Hobie Halloween Dahlia yarn. So in the colorway Freaky Nightmare. And I had a lot of fun determining what the placement of the colors was going to be. So obviously I've got like from yellow into like a darker orange near the top and then darker in the front. So I always wind up picking like fun colorways when I'm deciding what yarn to use for things. But then when it's finished, I try it on and then realize, wow, this looks really eccentric. And so I think I'm always just being taken in by like the fun color yarns without thinking too much about what it would be like to actually wear them in the end. So I am going to wear it, but I will be signing up for looking, I don't know, a little bit more in like my silly handcrafted crochet things era, a little bit more like quirky art teacher than normal person walking around on the street. But that's probably okay. So the next thing that I'm working on is I made a pair of rainbow socks for my friend, and now I'm making another pair of rainbow socks for her wife. So this is the rainbow yarn that I have. So it's actually the second half of a skein of, I think, silly sock wool from Hobie. So I am concerned about how much I have. I don't want to have to order more. I was sort of hoping to just use this up. So currently this is 57 grams of the yarn. And the amount that it took to do the Halloween yarn socks that I just showed, that took 40 grams per sock. So this is actually just a little bit over like what it took to make just one sock. But I think it's going to be okay because I'm going to supplement the toe and the heel and maybe the cuff in this other white yarn. And also the socks are going to be smaller than the large, unintentionally large socks that I made with the Halloween yarn. So hopefully that's going to be okay, but we'll find out. I really enjoy using up yarn, and so I wind up playing yarn chicken a lot, but that's part of the fun, is getting out my little kitchen scale and then deciding, am I going to have enough? Am I going to have enough? And then finding out if my prediction is accurate. Okay, so the last thing that I have in progress is the D&D scarf that I talked about before. So this is going to be a double knit. This is going to be like a double knit colorwork scarf. So one side, so I've gotten a couple of motifs down. So we've got like a lightning bolt motif and then just a regular pattern motif at the bottom. So I'm still trying to decide if I'm happy with the construction of it, if I'm happy with the density of the fabric, because when I first did this, all of it seemed a little bit loose. So yeah, I ordered a set of smaller knitting needles. And the other thing that I did is that I ordered a shorter cable because currently I have an extra long cable that I'd previously used for knitting 2 socks at once. But my shorter cable just came in, so I'm going to be picking this up again after a break of a couple weeks with the shorter cable, which is exciting because it's really, really a pain to wrangle a cable when that length isn't necessary. It's annoying enough when I'm knitting 2 socks on the very long cable and it is necessary to wrangle that length, but it's even more annoying when that length of cable is not necessary. So I'm looking forward to knitting that with a reasonably length cable. And I'm looking forward to deciding if I'm actually happy with this density of fabric, because if I decide I'm not satisfied, then I'll have to start over, which wouldn't be a big deal, because so far I've only sunk about 6 hours into this, including swatching and including casting on twice. So honestly, that's not too bad. But I am thinking about knitting a little swatch on the small needles that I also ordered, just to see if I like that density better. Because in the end, it's probably going to take around 60 to 70 hours, optimistically, to knit the entire scarf. And so I might as well get the density right instead of knitting the whole thing and being dissatisfied with the fabric. So yeah, those are all of the works in progress. And yeah, I think that's it. All right.